In this video, I'm going to talk about the equals method that is defined in the object class. Um, this method is possible to use to define or to check if two objects has the same memory address. For this example, I have this class person. It has three properties: ID, name, and phone numbers, and it has a constructor that instantiate the phone numbers with a new string builder, because this is a list of phone numbers. Okay, how we can check this method, this is equals method, because all the classes in .NET derives from the object class. We can use this notation. We can go to the definition. Okay, as you can see, it's a class and it has different methods. This is the method that we are going to check, and as you can see, it receives an object and it returns a boolean value. This is a virtual method. It means that we can override and change the default behavior for this method. What's the default behavior for this method? Okay, it receives as a parameter an object, and it compares if this address, the address of this object, is the same that this the instance of this class. Okay, so now let's check this in the program implementation class and the main method. Okay, here I have the an instance of the person class, and I assigned the values for the properties. In this case, I'm assigning two phone numbers, and I'm going to create another instance for the person class, and we can use the equals method that is in the first object, and we can send the person2 object. It is going to compare the two objects, and it's going to return. We are going to see on the console the result of this checking, because we are going to call the write line method. Okay, now I'm going to run this, and we are going to see the result. It is false. Okay, because we are declaring a new instance. It means a new position in memory for the new object. Okay, for that reason the result is false. Now I'm going to assign person to person2. In this case, this object is going to be pointing, is going to have the same address in memory to this object. Okay, and the result of this statement is going to be true. As you can see, both objects has the same memory address. Now, maybe you don't want to use this behavior. You don't want to compare memory addresses, okay, for these objects. In this case, you can overwrite the equals method. We can do this in this way. Public overwrite, and we can find the equals method here. We have a new declaration for the method, and we can use another way to compare. In this case, I'm going to compare the IDs. I can say ID, this ID equals to, I'm going to cast the object in person into person. This way I'm going to have the ID property available, something like ID, and okay, I'm going to create a new person object. By default, this person2 object is going to have the value 0 for the ID. So if I evaluate, if I compare two objects here, I'm going to get a false value, because it is going to take the this object person2, and as a parameter is going to get the ID and compare this with the ID in person object. So I'm going to run the application, and of course it's false. But now if I change person2 person2 dot ID by the value 1, I'm going to get a different, and that's a true value. Okay, I can remove this object because this is something that happens internally, and we don't have any error because we are overriding the method, the equals method, in the same way. So this is how you can implement this equals method.